All right, hello, happy December. I know the arm challenge is going on in the bodywork group, so I'm going to show y'all how I blast my arm, and we're going to talk about how my shoulders used to be extremely tight, kind of frozen, bad range of motion, and the phases that you kind of go through as you start to break it up. So the biggest thing to remember is when you're working on your shoulder back here, if you have pain around your shoulder blade, blast the front at your chest as well. I found a lot of the tightness up here, like this area was so stuck down and tight, was what was pulling on the back. So fascia is one big giant piece. It touches everything. It's connected everywhere. So just work the front and the back of anywhere that you feel a problem. And since I had to get crafty with my clothes, I'm just gonna do one side. And then y'all can repeat this on the other. Same rules apply. When I work my arm, I always make sure I get up around my neck, as far on my traps as I can reach on my own. Get up under here in this little spot. There we go. As always, starting with the Pro Blaster, just gonna kind of start working the whole arm. I move very quickly when I blast my arms. Make sure you get around the wrist. This is also the arm I wear my Apple Watch on, so it usually needs a little extra love because obviously you have some abbreviated motion when you have a large watch on all the time. I am kind of flexing, can't see it because my muscles aren't that big, but I'm kind of flexing in here at the same time. I do a mix of flexed and relaxed. I do have pretty good range of motion now where I can just kind of reach all these areas on my own. If you need the extenders, use the extenders. If your rings break, there are ones on Amazon you can get that tighten and they fit around the end. Or you can always go super old school, take yourself to Home Depot, buy the elbow conduits that are like 1.25 inches, and just pop them on. Okay. As you can see, I do get red very quickly. Work all the attachment points. I found a lot of adhesions along the back side of the collarbone and right underneath. So I do a little scraping underneath it and at my shoulder as well. When I first started loosening up my shoulder, when it used to all be just kind of one big adhesion, I would finish blasting, and for the next few days it would be very crackly, like it felt like a crunch bar. You could hear it grinding in there. So motion is lotion for the joints. So once you start freeing up the mobility and the range of motion, you need to make sure you move it. And yes, the grinding sounds weird, it feels funny, it literally feels like spurs or knuckles going against each other, but over time it became so fluid and lubricated, and it's almost like those hard spots that rubbed against each other just kind of over time softened and, you know, like sandpapered themselves into a nice smooth shoulder joint. Alright, so we've got some good warmth going here. Then I take my Mini 2, because y'all know I'm a creature of habit. I use like the same 3 tools all the time. Again, get around those wrists because mine are usually a little tender. Tricep always seems to be a tender spot. A little bit flexed, a little bit relaxed. There's no real wrong way to blast or no better way than another, other than no circles. That's really the only like true rule. So just do what feels right, try all the different combinations. Right now I'm just kind of pushing down on my bathroom counter here. That's why you can see that little bit of muscle moving. Ooh, I saw that. So exciting. I'll get my husband to help me blast my back later because sometimes I just don't like to do it on my own. I'm just kind of carving along the edge of the delts here. You can always shape out your muscles. Scooping, see from the side there, just kind of going upwards, little small strokes around the shoulder. Along the collarbone at the top and right underneath. You can also always grab and take the weight off of what's normally hanging down and do a little scoop upward. This muscle, once you get the chest open and woken up, just feels so much better. We have so much tightness in our chest and we never do enough to stretch it and open it up. All right, a little bit of large claw action there, around the elbow. Don't hit yourself on the elbow, doesn't feel good. All right, I'm gonna take the more blunted end of my Mini 2. Y'all know I just kind of nugget around like I'm coloring in a coloring book. Just get a little bit of everything. If you find a spot that's extra crunchy or hard, you can always give it a little more time and attention. But I find it's often just easier for me to just kind of go over everything instead of trying to chase little knots in there. And because sometimes it takes time to get the knot like pinpointed and actually to stay still where you can apply pressure directly to it and do the poke and wiggle. So I just kind of give everything a little bit of love. Trace out where muscles should be. And then this spot right here where it connects is always super tight. So I'm not in my armpit, I'm more on my chest. So I just want to show you that. And then over here in the bra bulge, blast that. Don't go digging around like in the soft part of your armpit, but you can totally get around the outside of it. This back here, this connection, is another spot that is usually pretty tight. And then after I finish that, I usually like to do a little bit of stretching of my shoulder, my triceps, stretch my back. Once I've loosened it up, do a few arm circles, because again, motion is lotion. Once you get the movement happening, your body's gonna get the natural lubrication going. And personally, when I do my arms especially, I like to do small, large, small. So I'm just gonna take the blaster base, because this is my current obsession. I don't know if it's gonna have a different name for just itself, but until we learn of a name, I'm just gonna call it the base. It's so much easier because it doesn't flip as much as like the Master Blaster. You have multiple spots you can hold on to. I'm just gonna do a quick pass over everything. I'm trying to find the best place that I can do this where y'all can see what I'm doing. And again, I know I get red very fast. I get very, very red. I have good blood flow because I've been doing this for years. If you have cold, patchy spots, it is totally normal. It is just something that comes with time. Keep blasting it, and soon you'll end up in the same situation as me. Now, as soon as I'm done filming this, I'll be able to actually take this top off and finish. And when I do that, I always make sure I go across my full chest, up and down, strokes here, kind of diagonal to get the whole piece. And then I will also take the Pro Blaster and go between, just blast the chest. Makes your back feel better, I promise. All right, I'm gonna upload this in my Fascia 75 group, and I will put it on YouTube for you. Y'all have a good day.